Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. Just want to bring you a quick video update for right now. I'll work on a little bit longer one, hopefully a little bit later tonight, but we've got a very active weather pattern going on. Radar in motion here currently. It is 7:42 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see a very active night setting up down here in Kentucky. We even had a report of a funnel cloud with a tornado warned supercell here down along the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Right now, currently, we have a severe thunderstorm warning here around Dixon, and this is all pushing off to the northeast and will eventually push into portions of Indiana. And not a whole lot going on for us here in the southwest corner of the state, but we've got this big blob headed our way. If I switch to the Evansville radar here rather than the Paducah radar like I was on, you can see we do have a little bit of rain around the area here, and you can see how this rain has just sort of trained over us, even produced some severe thunderstorm warnings here in Illinois at one point in time. That will all move its way on through us, and we have plenty more to go. You can see all of this down here coming towards us. All right, this video update real quick before I forget to mention it is sponsored by Metal Magic in Washington. You can give Chad a call at 698-8555. All right, let's take a look real briefly here at future radar, and we'll put this into the motion. We're looking at our what we call the HRR model, the HRRR, High Resolution Rapid Refresh. We're going through the overnight hours. Watch this just absolutely blow up in Kentucky and come towards us. Don't expect a ton of severe weather with this. I think it's going to be more isolated in nature. The HRR model only sees out to 15 hours, and so it ends at about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, but you can see an absolute massive amount of rain tomorrow morning with this. All right. Now, at one point in time, the Storm Prediction Center tonight had issued a mesoscale discussion that indicated that they were monitoring for the potential for a severe watch of some sort, whether it be a tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch, over portions of western Kentucky. And I had mentioned on Facebook, is that going to extend into southern Indiana or not at all? It doesn't look like that watch is even going to be issued at this point. It appears that the threat is pretty much minimal. If we take a look at the regional view and we just sort of back it out, you can see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings down here, another severe thunderstorm warning up here, but by and large, even that one tornado warning that we had for a funnel cloud that was reported, not a whole lot of activity going on. Not a widespread event where we have just warnings all across the board on everything like we have seen in the past. Could it justify a watch? Yeah, I think it could, but it's also one of those type of watches where it's sort of on the edge where you could go with or without a watch. I think the Storm Prediction Center is just playing it on the side of, well, let's not issue a watch if there is no need for it. So just be aware that there is a minimal severe weather threat for tonight. The greater threat will come tomorrow night by and large, but we could have a few of these cells that roll through here tonight being sort of on the isolated threat. So be sure you keep your NOAA weather radio on tonight is the best I can tell you. As we take a look over at the 4-kilometer NAMS future radar, which is not quite as high res. It is the high res NAM, but it's on a 4-kilometer grid, whereas you can see this one is a lot higher resolution. You can just tell by the way it's the coloring. We're on a 3-kilometer grid here. It's very high resolution. This is a little bit lower resolution, but still fairly high compared to what we got. We put this into motion. You can see that. We go through the overnight hours. You can watch these blow up. Here we are by 8 in the morning, and you can see a massive amount of rain headed towards us. Then we go through the day on Thursday. It looks like we actually get a decent little break in the action for a while. But then we're watching for development later in the afternoon on Thursday. Look at this right here. We've got some potentially large storms starting to fire, and that moves through the area. And then we've got rapid development out to our west that will eventually push our way in during the wee hours of Friday morning. All right. We are underneath of a slight risk for severe weather on Thursday. We are technically underneath of a slight risk for severe weather tonight. If we want to be absolutely technical, I could duplicate this and well, no, I can't. Well, I can, but I can't go back. Hold on, folks. Let me go to the Storm Prediction Center's website. I got it bookmarked here. It won't take but just a second. I just want to show you as far as the convective outlook for today goes. For tonight, the slight risk does go into our area. We're underneath of, here in southwest Indiana, at least a 2% risk for tornado development, 5% risk down more towards Paducah. As far as winds, that corner of Indiana comes to a 15%, and the same for hail as well. And most of southern Indiana stays underneath of a 5% risk. So again, it's not a huge risk tonight, but it is there. The bigger risk comes, as you can see, on the day 2 outlook, which is tomorrow. Thursday, you can see a moderate risk extending just to our west. If we take a look at the probabilities, most of us are underneath of a 30% risk, which is the upper end slight risk. The 45% moderate zone is encroaching on us, and we're all hatched from all within this 30 and 45% risk. The hatch area indicates the significant risk, and what that is there's a 10% chance of any of some sort of a severe weather event being within 25 miles of any given point in that hatched area. That's defined as I think it's EF2 or greater tornadoes, very large hail, and winds in excess of 70 miles an hour and more, I think. As a definition, but I don't have that completely memorized. But the idea is if you're in that hatched area, you're in sort of an enhanced risk for what could potentially be pretty bad. So we will keep an eye on this and monitor it, folks. Remember, you can go to southernindianaweather.com and you can click on interactive radar. You can watch this as the storms roll in tonight and tomorrow too, for that matter. Click on this, get it up here for you and show you, and you can see exactly where those storms are currently located here. Now you can see those down here. You can also see this down to our south as well, and you can actually put on the warnings box here, and it takes just a little bit to come up, but you'll actually be able to see the warnings appear on this as well. Just be patient with it and give it a little bit of time to load, and I promise you it does load. There we go. I just had to click the right button there. But you can watch those. So that is there for your use, folks. 7-day forecast. We'll take a look at it real quick, and then we'll go ahead and end the video, and I will start analyzing the data for tomorrow and probably produce more of an in-depth video a little bit later on, or to release early tomorrow morning. Going down into the 50s tonight. Actually, we'll probably warm up a little bit into the night as the warm front starts to lift northward, so that's not really completely. It looks can be deceiving there a little bit. Strong to severe storms possible tonight. Cloudy with thunderstorms. Yeah, it's a broken record. Tomorrow, again, we're looking at a warm high of 74. Plenty of fuel for these, especially if we get any breaks in the afternoon with the sunshine. It could be a very bad thing. It looks like it ends the threat on Friday morning, and by noon or so we should be clearing out and starting to decreasing clouds a little bit later in the day. All right, you can go to southernindianaweather.com and you can get your updated 7-day forecast anytime you want it, folks. That is it for this particular video update. I'll start analyzing the data, and I'll be here all evening working on things and posting to Facebook if any warnings do come up. Look for a more in-depth video about our severe weather threat coming out in just a little bit. For Southern Indiana Weather, I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite.